Good evening, hello everyone, welcome to Monza, welcome to my stream. 10 minutes to go as we sit in the practice server and the track is... what is it? This is slightly wet. Let's see what it says for 13%. Slightly wet indeed. Yeah, let's see how this race turns out. Where is my... all my windows? I can close this. Ah, there is the chat. Hi Marin, hi Joao, hi Madsen, Carlos, David, welcome everyone. You missed the China style in you mean the old one that I had some months ago? Yeah, I kind of preferred that one as well, but there was copyright issues even though it was supposedly like free to use. So yeah. I just thought when listening to this intro, well, I kind of need to update it one time. Good evening, Mario. Am I using long gears? Actually not. Why is my audio a bit silent today? I have this volume control on the headset, but let me know if any stuff is wrong. So yeah, it's short gears, because I think the long gears are just, I don't know, maybe it's just for Le Mans. Even though, well, I mean, when you're going towards Mulsanne first chicane, it's not really that much longer than Monza without turn 1. Actually, yeah, I don't know. Slippery. Is this even slicks now? No, wets are still kind of cold. Well, I mean, about Curva Grande, right? Like, we will see now. This is kind of quite dry already on wets. Should be easy flat, to be honest. But like it is kind of easy flat, but if I was going into there for the first time without any feeling, then it would probably not be easy flat. But it will get more wet than this. So yeah, let's see. What is my rear doing? Not enough on the ABS. I saw a little bit of that Jardir stream. Actually, I opened it to check the weather. Where is everyone on this server? Only 3 people. Well, the official server opens in 5. Actually, why is... Ah, everybody else is hypercar. Alright. I mean, in the end, the gear ratios don't really change that much. It's not that huge of a difference. And then in the end, like on long gears you spend more time in 5th gear, which is better, like, because now I'm losing a bit of power in 6th gear because it's low RPM. But now as it's reaching the optimal range, it's good again, so like... Yeah, actually, I mean, this is not flat out without a correction. I will need a bit more TC for the wet. I'm getting wrong muscle memory now. because the race or the quali will be dry. Most of the race will be dry. But I mean, okay, it's on minimum downforce and so on, so it's good that it's a bit of a corner actually. It could get quite boring with such a long straight, and then if turn 1 or like, well, is Curva Grande turn 1 now, or I can call it turn 1. With turn 1 being too easy flat, it would not be such a challenge, but it becomes quite a big of a challenge. Yeah, this ABS 11 hacks with B bias max to rear is, I don't know, it's kind of a stability control. How much time do we have? 3-4 more minutes. Let's see with a bit more TC. Ah yeah, now TC kicks in just a little bit. Now it's easy flat, but yeah, the track is drying very rapidly as well. It's saying slightly wet, but I don't know, is this slightly wet? The wets are overheated. It doesn't really look that wet anymore. And no spray at all, so... Anyway, guess I practiced the pit entry. Why is this tiny pedal stuff doing that? It's kind of low fuel warning, but it goes across 2 of the fields. There is like a wet patch under the bridge. Maybe a bug, maybe like... I think it's right underneath the bridge. And that would have been a penalty probably. Actually, let's see. If I just keep going... In iRacing that would not have been a penalty because you can speed by like, I don't know, 20 kph initially. And do I get a penalty? Yes, I do. Hi Charlie. Well, 70. Not sure which part of the car it actually detects. Well, let's not do that in the actual event. Yep, so let's find whom we are gonna race against today. We have quite a bit of a competition here. Yeah, Mr. Leiden has become quite high ranked here. I'm not sure about the BMW, like it's on the fixed in the beginner races it's fixed, right, and it's very fast, but it's on the lowest wing, and then other cars are not really on the lowest wing. So like McLaren can be much quicker now on open setup. But BMW probably cannot really go that much quicker compared to fixed. It's front splitter. Okay. Yeah, it's sometimes a bit like there is a threshold. Like you can sometimes speed a little bit, like 5-6, but if you stop immediately, then it's not gonna penalize you. Although I don't know again if there is like a setting which you could use to adjust the sensitivity? Probably not. I don't know. Ah, pit exit, copy. Yeah. Yeah, it seems to be. I remember one time when I released the pit limiter, and actually when the middle of the car crossed the pit exit line, I was already like 20 too fast. It was like F1 car, so it accelerated quickly. Well, let's then... how long is quali? 15 minutes. That's like 8-9 laps. I guess it's gonna be two attempts, or like two outings. Is my OBS running correctly? It seems to be running correctly. Man, I need a haircut next week. Don't brake for turn 1. Skip the chicane. I have to keep telling myself, I get that sense of urgency to step on the brake. Saturated grip. Interesting. All the right side tires struggle to get any temp around here. Well, there is only really like two fast or like two significant long corners, which are both part of a Ascari, where you gain any front right temp. I was clicking on the setup yesterday for a little bit with the McLaren, and I think it's quite nice. It's always between having a cheap front downforce with quite a bit of a rake, but then losing top speed, or like having neutral rake here but then losing downforce, or like corners. But I think I found a good sweet spot. The rear is a bit slippery though, but maybe use a bit less rear ARB. Yeah, so I mean, it's just less grip on the right side, right? If you have pulled the right tires. So you have to work them a bit harder. Especially given that there is no extra graining and so on happening in LMU. Yet, at least. Hopefully they add it at some point. I'm a bit annoyed by medium and wet. Like it's same shape, it's just turned around. Hard to see or to differentiate. Maybe I'll just change the medium to like O or something like that. Something going on with the exposure, like it's very bright. Tiny pedal, tools, tire compound, editor. Actually there is a bug or something, like it takes the mediums, or like the hards. Actually, does it work now? Ah, the bugging again. Ah, it's not a hypercar, I'm stupid. Let's change that to O. Okay. So now we either have two round wheels or two W wheels. Much easier to tell apart. Was it that different about the KPA? I mean, left side is kind of similar, I think. I'm not really looking that much at right side pressures. Although, again, pressures are not really that important. It's like pressure needs to be as low as possible to have maximum softness. Like in real life, where they tell people to have minimum tire pressure of such and such, because they would go lower if they could, but then it's unsafe. Oi. Let's not crash immediately. Thank you for the sub, Enil. Yeah, it's gonna be one more outlap. But maybe I start pushing already. I mean, that has been a dilemma in RF2 sometimes, especially with cars like Audi, where the front were always like 10 kPa less than the rear. But it turns out that it's just straightforward grip multiplier. It's just taking away the grip. If you increase the pressure, you take away the grip without really adjusting or affecting anything else. It improves the balance, but at what cost? I don't really know about temperature versus pressure. I mean, it's very linked together. Hi Nico, thank you for the sub. Let me heat it up a little bit more. I should have added a little bit more energy and fuel. Could do 4 more. .3 for Paul at the moment. Nobody really pushing yet. I think we will see 38s potentially even. Yeah, there is a problem a bit. I mean, with pressures, it's too much of a grip multiplier. So again, it will help with the balance of the car, but it will be slower more often than not. Waiting for Leiden's 37.9. I saw in the leaderboard, which should be race lap times, quite many people with 39.7s on race fuel. I was too scared through the chicane. Evening, Fabio. Simply the best. Well, if I win, then I'm simply the best this race. I wanted to take Mustang for this race, but it has limited rear wing. Like at Spa you can put it down to -2 or -4 or something like that, but for Monza and Le Mans it's limited at 1, so I couldn't really make a good setup. Right, Leiden and Ciclari. Quite quick. But my temps are now as good as they can get, so... No. Not a cut, but that's the most difficult corner for me. Lesmo 2. Not quite a 38, but we have 6 minutes remaining. Need more cooling. What's the brake bias saying in the McLaren? Yeah, I mean, it looks like there is like a general trend with the new GT3 tires that you just put brake bias all the way to the rear, which in fact is like 30, like I think I tried with 0 ABS a couple of laps. I had to use like 44.5 to have balanced brakes. So it's something to do with these brake cylinders, like master cylinders or whatever it's called. And It's not like it's effectively not 44.5, it's still 50 something. But it displays as 45, so with brake bias or like with ABS you just put it to almost minimum or minimum and it works. Actually, I don't know, I want to just keep it 44.5. Irnei, what a nice name. No chicane indeed. Quite a nice layout. I'm yet to really try lower ABS values. But when I went from like mid to high ABS and like normal kind of brake bias to max rear and max ABS, it just became so much better to drive for the time being, before we properly e-sport things. I mean, Irnei is kind of a... I mean, it's not that common, but it's still not rare. Yeah, it's average common. Well, that's a weird two words to put together, but I hope you get the idea. As far as I understand, it's a Slavic version of Bartholomew. Just not sure how exactly it's linked together, because it doesn't really sound the same, so... I don't know, is that name even used in all the Slavic languages? Probably not. But yeah, like Bartolomeo is kind of translated into Irnei. Right, 2 attempts. And the right side tires are frozen. Yeah, no idea what's the link, really, I have no idea. Would have to probably ask those, what were they called? Not sure how is it called in English, but you know, when the Greeks, like the bishops, came to Slavic countries and translated the names of the 12 apostles, the Bartholomew was translated in Irnei in the case of Slovenia, or like the whatever the old Slavic name for Irnei corresponds to. So never really looked deep into the linguistic link, to be honest. Yaroslav, yeah, maybe. Although Yar is kind of a word that means, like, it has a meaning in Slavic. Although I guess it could have gone from like Yarnei to Yernei, where Yar kind of means like young, or... Yeah, I need a bit more temp. And now let's try to find 3/10 out of nowhere. Although P3 is not a bad space to start here.
Very nice chicane. Not so nice understeer. Ah, what am I doing? Yeah, that corner is so unpredictable. Previous lap I understeered wide after apex, now I lost the rear completely. Well, let's practice the pit entry. Why so sideways suddenly? But exit is understeering. Yeah, I would probably need a bit more work on the setup. That was a spot-on pit entry, I suppose. Yeah, both mclaren and Leiden have done a race here. And I have not done the weekly yet, so I'm slightly worried. Maybe better to start third indeed. Yep, hi. If you mean these ones, it's a grid browse. And I have a slip angle on them. I want to kind of adjust the ARB on the rear by a click. I mean, am I really leaking anything here? One or two clicks. Let's say 2 clicks, because it's gonna go wet and it's gonna be a problem. And full virtual energy. Yeah, not sure, maybe I should just go highest preload, but this preload is a weird one. Sometimes it indeed stabilizes the car if you have it high, but sometimes it just makes the car so lazy at apex that it's actually more unstable overall. Hi Big Brenta, hi Ayus, hi Pepe Fuentes, and everyone else who I forgot to greet. Bad setup, copy honey. I spent maybe 1 hour and a half or 2 hours on it, so could be very bad. But I don't know, I did like 39.1 here now on saturated. I did that on full tank and light preset offline. Not sure. Ooh, Le Mans start. Maybe the track is colder, but I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I am from Slovenia. Anžeko Peter, it's, yeah, it's for sure a famous name here. Ah, we have to wait for the hypercars. Well, on fixed setup, does it have 8 on fixed setup? I mean, I made sure to put it to 0 or to 1 or whatever the minimum was. Wait behind... What does it want me now? Catch up, wait behind. Yeah. I guess for the start it doesn't really matter. Wherever you put the car in, it shouldn't really penalize you. Oh, and yeah, it's cold tires. And why are we going so slow? Is there like a safety car that is going pit limiter? Ah, Ah, so it is a pace car. Alright. I've never really experienced pace car in online racing here. It's hard to put any temperature into the tire at these speeds, and especially with absence of the heat transfer from brakes to the tires in LMU. Wonder when they are implementing that. Oof. It's hard to put temperature into the tires when the tire has no grip, so you cannot really lean on it. And actually on this tire model, it kind of like the speed and the rolling resistance is what really helps bringing the temperature into it. But with pit limiter speeds, it's gonna be a weird lap 1. Yeah, well, Kiran, it's hard maybe, but then you have cars like the Mustang, where the front gets good temperatures, but the rear just is impossible to get temperature in. Slow down? Well, I'm slowing down. Do we have fast rolling now, or what? Suddenly it's not... yeah. Well, I'm stopping the car. Line up on the left. I am lining up. I am catching up. This procedure is not the greatest, is it? Anyway. We are ready. The tires are not ready. But yeah, let's not die. Curva Grande, probably not flat out, and it's gonna be quite a tow here. That Porsche just didn't move. Ay, ay, ay. Not sure if I had a snap because I lifted a bit, or because I didn't lift enough. Or because the setup is bad. Or maybe the BMW just a different class car. I see 12 cars. 12 visible. I don't have the pace of Leiden. I don't know, I guess I have to, at this point, let go, save fuel, go into slipstream. Excusez-moi. And then hope for tire temps to eventually happen. Well, that Ferrari is going fast. We'll take a cut. Do I have more downforce than Ferrari? Could be the case. Dear McLaren. Oh yeah, people in fact got some DTs. Yeah, they will have to fix the procedure at some point. But what is that top speed from Ferrari like? It's crazy. It's funny, I think BMW has even more downforce and even more drag. Leiden just pulls like half a second. And then loses it a bit in sector 1. Such a weird BOP. I mean, BMW will struggle in the wet because engine is not on the, well, driven axle or whatever it's called. Yeah, Gasper, seems like I don't know. Must be like 3 kph plus top speed difference. Anyway, my tires are kind of in the window now. But I need to find 2 tenths somewhere. Would love to find them in a slipstream, but I'm slightly too far. Yeah, rain soon. Although forecast is not saying that it will get wet at the moment. .75 for that. Copy. What if the rain is actually not like 100% chance, but it's like 75% chance? And then we don't get the rain at all. That would be a bit unfortunate. Yeah, Stefano, that's what feels to me as well. They restricted the rear wings of many fast cars, Ford especially, but now Ferrari is going so quick. I can feel a bit of understeer from that -2 ERB that I clicked on the rear, but at least I didn't spin out yet. Well, on that entry I was happy that I clicked down. So Leiden 0.844, and I'm quicker. Alright. Hypercars coming soon. Ah, Christos, that's right. Makes a lot of sense. It's funny how BMWs and Porsches all around get interesting BOP at some point. Always very competitive. Although in RF2 for quite some time the BMW was quite hopeless. Well, looking forward from the BMW tires to get cooked then. And looking forward to it having zero traction in the wet. Ah, now it's cloudy and light rain, so indeed we will soon get some raindrops, which is nice. Do I stay on the right side? I guess that's a solid option. And that line in the wet, no way it's flat out. Ferrari! You know what? That's one of the classic corners where incidents happen in the long run in the endurance races, because the car on the right side thinks he's leaving a lot of space on the left. And I've seen many times people crash there because of misjudgment. And that's how our favorite braking boards get destroyed on the left side as well. Oof. And I was just about to get into slipstream of P2. Oh dear. Did I practice in the rain? I did some laps in the rain, yes. Not enough though. Is that the moment when I start complaining about unlucky traffic again? At least it feels like I have sufficient pace if I nail the corners. I'm not really using a rain setup, no. It shouldn't really rain for that long. Although when you compare my downforce and speed compared to Ferrari, then you might think that I actually have a rain setup. Yeah, let's see what P1 and P2 do. mclaren seems fast. I'm moving up finger on right hand corners. Actually, I'm not doing that out of my own decision, like I don't even know I'm doing that. No, I'm not pressing anything there, even though... Well, I have like a button on the back side, but have I ever needed that button? In Formula Sim Racing WC I had the engine boost or whatever it was, like was it push to pass or something that I used out of every corner, but I think it was on the right. I actually might have been on the left, because I'm upshifting on the right. What if that's it? What if I just have muscle memory that I just extend my finger? Could be. one brave guy with Isota I saw. I mean, Isota is not that slow. It could be quite good on the straights, to be honest. Isota is a special car. It really has a certain feeling, but I don't particularly like it. I mean, I only drove it at Code, I think, or maybe at Fuji. Don't quite remember. It's not that much of pace. It's surely an interesting one. And the company that makes the wheel is Grid Engineering, actually SimLab. Or like SimLab bought Grid Engineering. And yeah, honey, I'm putting my car closer and closer, so we will have the best... Oh, rain! We will have the best side of the battle for P1. Just give me some laps, please. Working on it. That rain could take quite a lot of time to properly kick in. Probably for 5 laps it just kicks in psychologically. Ah, the Porsche badge and the Porsche logo. Like, I can remove the badge but not the letters, so... Luckily it's surrounded by bright LEDs, so I cannot really see it with peripheral vision. Actually, the mic is blocking the sight of the badge partially, so... Rain will further develop, yeah, LMU, wait, what, how do I say that in English? Well, I would say music in my ears, because I really think it needs a proper revisit to make it compete against iRacing Rain, or beat the iRacing Rain. It's like the 3 AM water to my mouth to hear that. Are they taking these anti-cuts in real life as well? Ooh, 39.9. I am catching. Actually, let me get ready a little bit for the wets. I heard there is potentially still a little bit of a bug with selecting wets, but should be fine. Now one can take a lot of the first apex. Honey, I hope the view is becoming better for you. Just noticed I have the perfect combination today. I have both the rear view mirror being of normal width, so it's not squeezed together, and I have G-Sync on for whatever reason. Even though I don't know how much it's doing at 100 FPS. I guess I go to right side here. I don't know. Hi Tiago, thank you for your sub. Oh no, the psychological effect of the rain is starting to affect me as well. Or is it not psychological anymore? Track is damp. I'm using the vehicle set rotation for this car, or for GT3s overall. So it's time to think of TC. And soon about the wipers as well. He was not close enough for me to lift and coast, but still decided to stick the nose in. Hi Hyper, life is fine, it's raining, so I like it. I mean, I like the rain on track. I don't really like much rain outside, so... But the BOP is working quite interestingly here. And I really hope that the BMW starts struggling a lot in the wet. I mean, it should again. In RF2, the front-engined cars were hopeless in the wet. Well, I'm going left then. No, this is still easy flat. But the braking distances are increasing. And maybe it's time to go max rear. Yeah, Jardier, I don't know what he did, but or what others did, but he was insane. Yeah, Split 1, I saw a little bit of that race. It was such an interesting one. Are they thinking? Well, the track is still damp. Should go to slightly wet at least. There we go. The spicy part begins. It's still drizzle, so we'll have sufficient slipstream. Should have stayed behind. Oh, hypercars. What an overtake. A switchback through Curva Grande. That's not something that I ever expected to do in real life. I mean, it is real life, like in online racing. I love how my brain decided to use the phrase real life, because it is real life, you know. In virtual racing maybe would have been a better choice. Yeah, I lifted because of the hypercar. Didn't know what's gonna happen with too wide and then hypercar steaming in, so is this wet? Ah, now it's slightly wet. Ah, Leiden did a better decision there. Ah, if it appeared like 10 seconds earlier, I would have pitted. Now we're both gonna mess it up. And of course I didn't think of Ferrari having 10 kph better top speed. Anyway, gonna be fresher wets. That Ferrari is still gripping. The tire temps are still not too bad. Ah yeah, grip switched off indeed. Did that car rotate me a bit to the right as well at the same time? Not sure if there was a contact. Suyash, thank you for your sub. I'm annoyed. Should have boxed. You know, it's always when you're in the car and still feeling kind of comfortable, having that, what do you call it? Lando Norris or Lance Stroll kind of feeling where you just want to stay out. You know, like, do you feel good to stay out? Yes, stay out. Next corner, crash. Let's see where is Leiden. He had to refuel a bit more, like 2% extra. But he will fly by. There he comes. No. That's a big gap. Clary lost time. So is this flat now? Cold wets? Well, it exits speeds, still flat. Maybe at racing speeds next lap, not anymore. .4 to Leiden. That's insane. Maybe too much TC. Overconfidence, yeah, probably. Or the feeling that you can be a hero. Just stay out longer, you can handle it, it's gonna be better. And both Kevin and myself suffered from that syndrome now. 9 seconds slower, okay. That's a big margin. Ah, you mean on the Delta? I don't know. What if Leiden actually underfueled a little bit? Yeah, Hyper, it's always better to look at the data and do what is more logical. Was it flat? I think I was. I think TC cut in a lot. But pace should be here now. Gap behind is not shrinking. Gap ahead is shrinking. So that's good. This paint on curbs has too much grip. I have 7% more energy than the leader. Does that make sense? One lap is like 4%. He must have underfueled a little bit. Like in one lap you don't burn that much. So answer is this corner is flat out even in slightly wet conditions. Under the condition that you increase your TC. I gained a second on Leiden in one lap, that's good. Or is he having some traffic? This TC is OP. Maybe try 3. Just about to have the rear stepping out, despite lifting. Well, when the rain gets reworked like Mr. or not Mr. like, well, it's Mr. Gibbons, like Le Mans Ultimate says in the chat, it's gonna be really nice, because now I think this lack of rubber, not decreasing the grip, is kind of destroying a bit the immersion, because always when you're watching a race at Monza in the wet, it's quite apparent how different the braking lines are. It's gonna be so beautiful. Again, it shouldn't be hard to implement it, and again I think that the physics is already there for wet lines, it's just not dialed in. I don't feel comfortable, but it should be flat out. Well, the Mustang must be quite bad in these conditions. Will he lift? Probably not. He did. Thank you. Funny how big of effect DC power cut has going from 2 to 3. I think it's quite significant. Just the amount of power that gets actually cut away when it's activating. Well, Kieran, maybe I'm just slow. Also this kind of driving when I'm always having neutral input or slightly opposite lock on the exits in the wet shouldn't really be possible. Feels too forgiving, or maybe it's the TC that is just way too powerful, way too efficient. Just holding the rear in the perfect window for a bit of like neutral steering exit, even on wets. Well, I mean, at the moment I'm half a second quicker than P1 and P3, so maybe Macca is OP. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe back to 4 cut. That's a bit too late on the brakes. The Formula Pro tires in RF2 they were really good in the wet. Felt like you had absolutely no chance to have anything, like you couldn't play with the rear drifting or sliding at all on wets or even on slicks when it was damp. Like this. I mean, obviously high downforce F1 style car is quite a different thing than a GT3, but it really felt like if you go at least a bit sideways, you are just losing a lot of time. But then again, I've never driven a GT3 in real life, so maybe they kind of have to play with the rear a bit to keep temperature in. Vince Cal, I have 144 Hz. No, it's not flat out. But it's not slightly wet now, it's actually wet. Need more power cut. I'm really looking forward to June. I'm gonna be watching 24 hours of Le Mans. And in the middle of the formation lap, there will be a big Le Mans Ultimate advert telling millions of people to buy the game that has everything you need to fully experience WEC, and that's in fact the most realistic simulator overall, although I suppose LMU devs are not that pretentious or whatever adjective I can use, like people of some other simulator that keep saying on the official page that it's the most realistic. Ah, dear iRacing. Looking forward to the iRacing new tires anyway. Should be fun to try them next week. Custom liveries will be worth the sub. Well, you already have my sub, so that sounds even better. Is the rain intensity? Yeah, it's decreasing. It's drizzle now. So 17 laps-ish. Is that long enough for the track to sufficiently dry out? Going to be interesting. Ah, we have the used mediums for quali. Ah, this McLaren. If I lift, I get lift off oversteer. If I don't lift, I get power oversteer. Couple more laps and I should be fully in the spray of Leiden, and then let's see what happens. Now the wets are quite hot. And they're not gonna get any colder. I'm not sure if there is anything I can do about it to pull them down. Ah, Hyper, congrats. Three-week-old at home, that's beautiful news. Hope the little one lets you sleep at least some hours per night. Jimmy video, was there another Jimmy video? If you mean Jimmy Broadband praising LMU. He has praised quite a bit and it's really good to see. Well, my little one, indeed, well, he's actually gonna be 2 years old in a couple of days, which is crazy. He's doing fine. Currently in process of rapidly learning many words. Just 2 days ago I was teaching him to drive straight around this track, but he preferred to hit the walls. To be honest, it took me like 8 years of age to start appreciating the racing and not just crashing around everything, so I'm giving him time. Meanwhile, there is our leader ahead, still struggling. Yeah, William for most people for sure. I mean, there are some people who just have well, different, who are built for a different purpose, or I don't know how else to put it. But for the majority of us, it's, I think, an underappreciated fact that it's a pretty good thing to become a father. BMW head doing BMW things. Well, is this the battle for the lead now? I mean, I have to make the impact now, like the good kind of impact, because later when it goes dry, he will be quick again. I got scared when the track was wet or very wet, and I'm still lifting because I'm still scared. Now let's see the traction BOP. Front versus mid-engine. And then I have more top speed, less downforce, so... I would have hoped for a bit of a slipstream, but wheel to wheel, here we go, side draft. He goes 6th gear. It's quite crazy how a downshift can instantly change the dynamics of the battle. Now he will get the draft. I'm still not flat out. Into the lead. Raining again? That reminds me of Bathurst iRacing 12 hours, when there was zero chance of rain anymore. But let me make that corner before I talk. Yeah, on the radar in iRacing, because you get like a radar with rain, all the rain has gone by, and then one single pixel appeared in one corner, so there were like 3 drops of rain in that one corner. It was funny. Wiper off. Yeah, it stopped raining, I guess. Yeah, now the weather forecast changed. No more rain. Now we have, what, 11 laps to see if it dries. Let out. No fear. It's grippy enough. Good. Now this is my favorite conditions, when every corner is faster and faster. So according to my calculation, this car should do like 43 minutes full stint. So we need to make at least 15 more minutes, which is like 10 laps. Yeah, I think we go to the end on this fuel. Now it's even scarier because the grip difference when you slide off the racing line is even greater. Actually, I don't know if it makes some sense to cool down the tires. It did in the past in RF2. Built-in shots of your car with the livery on it. Ooh, I mean that would have been indeed a very brilliant thing to do or to have. At least he didn't try to take the second apex. Hello, Genrix. Well, Le Mans Ultimate, you could like make an AI tool, provide some photographs of like for myself of rough racing cars, and then the AI tool would just produce a livery out of it. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, I'm not sure how far the AI tools already are at this point for like making such paintings or like liveries and skins. No spray anymore anywhere. Ah, there is spray. If that helps at least a little bit. This sliding is probably now just the tire tripping over itself because it's so overheated. So if I survive 5 more laps, it will be easy single stint to the end. But in these 5 laps I could lose quite a bit of time. I guess it's making much more sense to just stay out now. What is my opinion on Pokorny engineering? Is that the steering wheel that Dan Suzuki assembled on his live stream? If that's it, I wasn't really paying too much attention. But I mean, it's a really nice project, right? Like you have those big puzzles like out of plastic that you can create like big cars or helicopters or airplanes that you like assemble for 2 weeks and glue together and paint, and then you have a nice end result where you can spend some time and do the same on a steering wheel and then actually use it. Like if you have the expertise and the knowledge, or even if you don't, you can still easily learn about it. Just not sure if there is some soldering required or not, or programming. Man, this is a dry track. This is straight to slicks, but slicks cannot do 50-minute stint. So it's like 4% energy full push. That's 25 laps. At the moment that calculator at the top is saying that should be 30 to go. But I think it's not taking pit stop into the account. So I think 25 laps is full push. 26 should be easy with a little bit of fuel saving or barely any fuel saving. $27 should be doable. 28, I don't know. But we are losing so much time now with these melting tires, but well, P23 are doing the same. So that's good. Like, I don't know, mclaren should have just gone on to... Why does that side now looks drier than this? From some perspective. Maybe it was just weird lighting. It's weird lighting, like it's darker, but it's at the same time brighter. I don't know. Yeah, mclaren should like 5 laps ago just gone in, put slicks, full push, try to get a gap, then box again and hope that he gains enough of a gap, but that, I suppose it's really not much to do now other than just keep surviving. Indeed, Alex. No fear of that today. I did really expect wets to start overheating even harder. Although, yeah, they are going to 100 Celsius. Alex versus Alex. What a battle that would have been. Well, have I seen you guys battle it out on track yet? Oh, Leiden is struggling so much. He actually lost like 12 seconds across the whole stint. They are still not boxing. So lap times are, yeah, 5 seconds, only 5 seconds slower than on dry track. That's interesting. So even if they box, I have them covered. Especially Leiden. Because he has to refuel more. Ah, yeah, Alex. I saw that. Ah, FSR. Our dear FSR. Being so well tied to ISI or like Studio 397 sim, and then suddenly a new version of the Studio 397 sim comes out and there is no Formula car. So what should FSR do? Should have boxed, to be honest. Anyway. Still saying slightly wet, but I don't believe it. Over 100 Celsius on the wet now. Staying wet until damp, but I mean, I think it's done because there is like a patch of wet stuff somewhere on there. Like this is slicks. I'm gonna risk it. It's the perfect time for some risk. And should be straightforward, full push to the end. How long for a full stint? Well, I don't even know, like if I didn't change tires. But it's like 25, 26 laps, so... I mean, Leiden has to box now anyway. But let's put this MFD to tire temp. And let's hope... TC more. Should be flat out, right? Kind of. But I think this is already so much more grip than wets. Yeah, look at the rotation. And that TC is so aggressive. Slightly slippery, but no, I really think that the time for slicks was already 5 laps ago. And that there is a little bit of a bug when it comes to here's... yeah, now it went damp. But I think it was damp already 5 laps ago, but it didn't show for some reason. Yellow flag? Why? Oh. RIP. Well, I posted something similar in LMU general chat in Discord, but it was from AI session and there was 10 cars, not one. I don't know. It must be easy flat. It must be easy flat. But it just scares me because there is a bump. Now Leiden and Cyclari have lost 2 seconds because they didn't box before. And they will lose even more because their tires are cold. Pretty happy with my car choice at this moment in time, even though first laps seemed quite hopeless when it comes to pace. I mean, it is... There is a dry line, like, I mean, it's obvious that cars dry up certain patches of the road. But in the wet it's more like a grip multiplier than anything to do with aquaplaning and of the track rubber decreasing the grip and so on. But well, as LMU in the chat said, stuff will be reworked and improved. I think we have all massively overfueled now. Although the tiny pedal overlay could be struggling because the lap times will improve. So flat out, it's easy flat, of course. Good evening, Alex. Yeah, no Mustang today. I saw the weather forecast. I thought, well, maybe, but then even in the dry, with the rear wing being restricted, it's a struggle with Mustang. Why do I have... That's the weirdest muscle memory, or whatever I can call it ever. So every time I go to Ascari, I kind of get the urge, or like the idea that Ascari is flat out. I mean, it makes sense because the historic layout has no chicanes. It's flat out through sector 1, and then there is no Ascari. I mean, there is... what was it called? Via Lone or something like that. So it's a corner, but it's flat out, even without downforce. So my head is kind of telling me not to brake for Ascari, and it's scary. Now one thing is that I always forget as well is that this is multi-class. That I don't finish if I lead when timer goes to 0, but when hypercar crosses after 0, so I might get extra lap. And tiny pedal is implying 2 laps less than the counter on top right, so need to be careful with what I do. It's flat out in ACC. Copy. I saw that reel from Michi when he found a nice line through a scary exit. Oh, that's some wet patch there. When he went on the inside of all the anti-cuts. And game said no time gained, so not invalidated. About more grip on cold tires, I think in real life they drive GT3 pace for 2 laps. Like it's too lenient in LMU now. iRacing supposedly worked on that now, so let's see what they produce next week when they release the update. But supposedly the iRacing hypercar or GTP dry tires will take quite significant time to get temperature. It always felt too easy in LMU. Like one corner is really terrible, but suddenly it just grips. And it shouldn't really grip like that. And even if it's no grip, you just turn in like crazy, just build up heat within a corner on at least one tire, and I don't know. It should be way more tricky in my opinion. So I'm now losing a lot of time to Leiden. Dear oh dear. I need more of an inside line so the left tires don't hit the wet patch. I mean, it's not like I have no idea what to do either, just like drive slower and try to feel where the grip is. It's impossible to learn it because it's different in all circumstances. But I guess people just demand instant grip. Anyway, let's see what iRacers say about what iRacing provides now. I need to find some confidence, because Leiden is doing to me what I did to him in the wet, already 5 seconds gained. I mean, it's a dry track. It's just in my brain that it's supposedly still a bit wet in some places, so I'm afraid to push. I think this outside is the only problem. Other than that, it's dry. Am I a lap too short? Shouldn't be, right? Like I thought, I mean, I just looked at the tiny pedal overlay, but I don't know. I mean, I guess the overlay is always calculating with the lap times it gets recently. What does MFD say? I don't even know where to look. Can do 19.5 more. I guess I need to make that extra lap. And then, yeah, it depends where the hypercars are, of course. That engine inertia on the McLaren. I thought he wasn't making the corner. Yeah, so maybe Leiden and Ciclari overfueled by a lap. But I really don't want to find it out with 2 laps to go. Well, I don't know what the 70.1 means, like it looks scary. Like, at the same time, the overlay reckons it's gonna be 18, including this one. But I don't think the overlay is recognizing the placement of hypercars. So yeah, either 18 or 19. So with 18 I should be fine, right? No, 7? I don't know. Now the hypercars passed. Is that the leaders? No, that was P3. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it all depends at what point the hypercars cross the finish line. There is a tiny pedal overlay widget for that. It calculates like the relative finish order at what point where I will be on track when the hypercars finish, but then at the same time not fully sure what the hyper strategy is. That Leiden pace is scary though. I mean, it was like that at the race start, but then he started struggling. I think my TC is too high as well. Let's put some... What did I have? 5 to 8-ish in the dry. And brake bias was like 44. It's just funny because it's completely dry conditions, but it's still... I don't know if it's all in my head. It feels slower than it should. Irish Ave, my favorite GT3 is probably the Mustang. If we forget all the BOP aspects and so on. Yeah, 15... worst case, yeah. In worst case, I am screwed. I don't know. At this point, if I fuel save too much... yeah, if I fuel safe, I'm gonna lose P2 and P3 anyway. But I could go for a lap less, and then I have big gap. How did this happen? Like, I mean, I didn't listen to Le Mans Ultimate in the chat, so I deserve it, but I didn't really think it was that tight. Should be 13 at the line. Yeah, in that case it's fine. I mean, if I had 2 more %, then I would be close to 14 laps now. And they can do extra lap, no problem, if they need it. Yeah, about tiny pedal, it was mostly like completely correct, but there was one race when it was at least a lap off. I guess it's correct if you're leading class, but in multi-class it's a bit of a problem. Leiden and Seclari are doing the dry lap times, and I'm doing kind of still slightly damp lap times. No idea why. Not sideways enough. I don't even know where P1 hypercar is, probably just overtook me. Actually P2 and P3 are kind of tight as well, right? They're not comfortable for extra lap. But they could feel safe if they start now. Mustang beautiful indeed. Did I just say Mustang? It's hard to pronounce it as A or like Mustang. It's A, right? It's not U, it's A. But the letter is U, so... Not had enough of American co-drivers or teammates in the past, so... The car isn't worthy of the steering. Well, I would love to drive the Porsche, but it's undrivable to me. But it should be a pretty good track for Porsche. Like, car with great rear end, great in the wet, short braking zones. Usually good top speed. You can only map one wheel at a time. I mean, not sure what exactly you mean. Yeah, there is no presets, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. You cannot really save different button presets. I mean, you can do it manually. You can just swap text files. Copy, Carlos, good to hear. But again, I think the problem is, do hypercars cross the line right after it goes to 0, and then we all get extra lap? Yeah, there is no wheel profiles, I think. I mean, yeah, what I said before, you can always make a wheel profile and then go to user data controller and save the INI or JSON or whatever it is, copy it to different place, and then map a new one, and then just exchange the files. It works, but it's a bit silly. Yeah, I mean, at some point it surely must come, right? Okay, so lap times are stabilizing, which is pretty good, because for some time their pace was scary. I cannot turn in early enough to get all the curb. And so much of rear rotation. Leiden actually burning more energy than I. I mean, it was same in the first stint. That was P1, yeah, looks like, yeah. P1 into the last turn now. I'm braking too early. .2, it's not a bad lap time, but yeah. Well, we're all in the same boat anyway now, energy-wise. The 39 should be doable, to be honest. I mean, what Leiden is doing behind now, this lap is a 39. But I'm scared on the brakes. The rear wants to rotate too much. I mean, I can always try some brake balance, but not sure if that's gonna help. So Leiden got held up, which is good. But he would have done a 39 for sure. How was that not a cut? Was sure I'm gonna get a cut. Kyle, that sounds brilliant. I mean, again, we are all in the same boat. P1, P2, P3. But I mean, you know, no change. 3%, 4. At this point it's impossible to save the extra lap. I mean, Carlos, that's good news, right? Hope he keeps being very inconsistent. How do we know if the leader crosses the line and finishes the race? He disappears from track map, but like he disappears and there is... It's hard to see, right? Because there is people in the pit lane. So he will need like 3 minutes when he crosses the line to make it 2 laps to go. I mean, he will have 3 laps now. It's hard, like you cannot scroll, so you don't see the leader in MFD. I mean, it's perfect conditions for BMW. Like when it goes dry enough that you don't really struggle for traction, but you just have so good confidence because of how good the car is handling. So now 2 laps to go for the leader. So I guess if he overtakes, then we are safe. But will he overtake? He's quite far behind. And then what if he's 2 seconds behind? and then we box, and then he finishes. Where is the pit entry? So the leader will now start his last lap. Oh, we are so deep into... I don't know, he needs to overtake us, you know. Can he do it? He's in the chicane. Actually, if he slots... I can keep going without fuel. P2, P3... He will get us, he will get us. Come on. Here he comes. What if I finish ahead of him? Anyway, so this is the leader and this is the race finish and that's it, right? Come on, checker flag. Yes! Oh, yeah, let me do that as well. That was so close. But you guys know what? If he finished behind us, just behind, then maybe P2, P3 could box and then actually lose the lap. They would get lapped and I would be on the lead lap still. And then I would run out of fuel, but nobody would be able to catch me because everybody would have finished. So I would have DNF'd from the lead. We discussed that strategy in VEC at Sebring when we didn't know exactly how the finish is gonna go, but well, this was slightly cleaner. Overtake out of last corner and across the line with the hypercar leader. I'm a bit shaking. I mean, it's not such a crazy of important race, but so good with strategy. Yeah, that was it. I mean, if we were a bit faster through the race, we surely have lost a lot of time. We would have easily been ahead of him. And then it would have been a problem. I didn't plan to hit the grass here, but need to check the start. The start was a bit funny. I'm gonna blame ABS for the crash. Oof. This was a really good car choice for the circumstances. It was not great in the wet, I mean in the dry. Hani said in the chat that it's a bad setup, so thank you Hani, I hope I can improve it till next time. But in the wet it was a solid choice. More downforce on a minimum wing compared to Ferrari. And engine on the rear axle, so more traction for the wet. Like it just all worked out well. That start was funny. I don't know, that Porsche just didn't move. I think that's TC. I figured out that on the race starts with cold tires, TC is really, really bogging you down. Like you really profit from lower TC levels, which is interesting because overall in LMU TC is very efficient. Yeah, poor Kevin had to lift out of it. And that Peugeot didn't quite push the button. What's going on ahead? That BMW is not shifting. Ah, that chicane in lap 1 is always tricky. Like, it's so easy to stick the nose in a bit. And then you just have... I mean, I couldn't... Could I turn in? Maybe I would get nudged. Anyway, chat, thank you so much, everyone, for the GGs. Ah, Tommy, good race, but yeah, the BMW is a bit of a problem when it comes to traction in the wet. Where was that overtake? So it started to rain. This is already on wets. I want to check that switchback. Was it here? Yeah, the hypercar comes. I leave it because I don't want to crash. And then Kevin cannot take the apex. Switch back through Curva Grande. Who would have expected? Goes along well with the stream title. Anyway, next lap I don't box and get obliterated around the outside. I lifted massively. Kevin lifted as well. He had more courage. Yeah, the heart and soul was I felt your heart and soul very much in the last stint. Steps out at 60 kph. Alright, I mean, I saw many pictures of Beamers with the trunk full of bricks to help with the traction. Anyway, I'm gonna call it a race. Let's check the gains. Oh, that was brilliant. I don't know, like if the leader was far behind, like 10 seconds behind, what would have happened? We would all have to box, or we... I mean, where is the finish line? It's quite early, right? It's not like towards the end of the pit lane. If it was like Imola, then you have to park. Then you have to keep going, park before the finish line, and then people who box just go very slowly through the pit lane, and then the hypercar finishes. Hypercar leader finishes when they are still 60 kph while you are stopped at the finish line, and then you just drive across it. Or maybe to make it worse, you have a pit stop before the finish line, and then you're just screwed. Then you have to, yeah, it's... It doesn't happen often, but it's strategically quite a nightmare to calculate. Just have to stick with some decision and hope for the best, and if you can manage plus minus 1 second in the end, or 2, then you do it. Anyway, getting somewhere with the DR. Well, okay. I mean, good race, wrong car. Ah, Daniele had the wrong car. Daniele, what did you have? The Corvette? No, the Corvette, the Ford. I mean, the Ford, it's not a second off, but no, in the wet it's potentially a second off compared to mid and rear engine cars. But in the dry it's maybe 3/10 off, just because the rear wing is restricted. You cannot put it to very low downforce. Yeah, Kyle, but like if they all know the situation, like they would have to do it. No way to do anything else. And anything else, like in a certain set of circumstances, even if you're battling side by side with 200 meters to go, it's... I mean,
I don't know. It would need 10 people running all the simulations for the race and calling what to do, and then they will still be shouting at you through the radio, stay out, in, stay out. It worked in our favor today. Daniele, always. No, it's and the McLaren is a tricky one. I think I did actually have minimum spring on the rear for sure, probably on the front as well. Must have had, because it's very low downforce and then there is wet, but it's a tricky car, so you profit a lot, profit from drivability a lot if you make front a bit stiffer and more controllable. Especially in high downforce scenarios. I don't even know, the spring rates, I need to study them for quite a bit because I don't quite understand what LMU wants from me. And then again, the tires will be updated again at some point, so who knows. Now the front is weak, the rear is very lenient with the sliding, so you get away with softer front. I didn't lap you, yeah, well... At least one win for you then. And you had the most beautiful and best handling car anyway. I struggled with the McLaren quite a bit. Either way, next stream will be final race of VMS Pro League on Sunday, 2 hours 40 minutes of Bahrain in the night. With the BMW, exactly with this hypercar there on the picture. Yeah, actually, it's whole season of a league in LMU already over, almost. Crazy. Best sounding for sure. Yeah, probably. I'm not the biggest fans of V8s and so on, but that one kind of sounds alright. Better than the hypercar for sure. Guys, have a great rest of the day, of the evening. Good night. See you next time. Bye bye.